Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
We are super excited for this one.
Yeah, and before we really jump in, I want to briefly announce that today's deep dive is powered by a SpeakDuo lesson. So you can actually go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people from around the world, practicing English on video calls just to become a more confident speaker.
Right, and you're definitely going to want to use that after today because our mission for this lesson is, well, we are looking at 15 advanced English idioms and phrases, and these are all centering around failure, resilience, and unexpected situations.
The fun stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, mastering these nuances is crucial for advanced English learners. You have to know how to talk about things going wrong.
Exactly, because, let's be honest, things rarely go exactly to plan, whether you're talking with your boss about a disaster at work or maybe answering a difficult IELTS speaking part 2 question about a challenge.
Yeah, you need the vocabulary to describe when things just don't work out.
Yeah.
So let's start with the anatomy of a flawed plan. Right at the foundation, before a project even really launches, you might realize it is doomed from the start, meaning it is destined to fail before it really begins.
No, wait. I hear people use bound to fail quite a lot. Like, is doomed from the start really different from just saying it's bound to fail?
It is, yeah. So bound to fail suggests a high probability of failure based on, current data. It's very logical.
Okay, so looking at a bad spreadsheet or something.
Right, exactly. But doomed from the start has a much more dramatic, almost cursed nuance to it.
Yeah.
It implies that these fatal flaws existed from day one.
So it's like trying to build a skyscraper on quicksand.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter how good the steel is, the whole foundation is just cursed. So in a workplace scenario, I guess you could say, without clear leadership, the new software rollout felt doomed from the start.
Perfect example. The failure was just baked in. But okay, let's say you didn't realize it was doomed, right?
Yeah.
And you proceeded anyway. Eventually, that plan is going to completely collapse. And for that exact moment, you wouldn't just say it failed. You would say the plan turned to dust.
Turn to dust. Okay, but I usually just say my plans fall apart. Why is turn to dust a better choice for, an advanced speaker?
Well, think about the physics of it. If something falls apart, like a chair or a toy, it breaks into pieces, sure, but the pieces are still there.
Right, you could maybe glue them back together.
Exactly. But turn to dust means complete, absolute disintegration. Like the plan vanished and never even existed at all.
Wow, okay. And there's almost a psychological trick there, right? Because if I say my plan fell apart, it kind of sounds like I built it poorly. I'm taking the blame.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, but if I say it turned to dust, it's like an act of nature, like Thanos just snapped his fingers. So I could say, our careful project timeline turned to dust when the client moved the deadline up unexpectedly.
Yeah, that completely removes the blame from you. It's great. So when that happens, you often have to write something off.
Write something off?
Right, which means to deliberately dismiss something as not worth your time, effort, or attention anymore.
Is that just the same as giving up on it? Because giving up feels very emotional.
And that is exactly the difference. Giving up is an emotional surrender. You feel defeated. But writing something off is this cognitive, almost administrative decision. Okay, imagine a CEO just standing at a whiteboard, looking at a bad idea, and casually crossing it off. It's calculated.
That is such a good phrase for an IELTS prompt. Like, you don't want to sound defeated to the examiner, right? You want to sound in control. You could say, after one failed attempt, I wrote the proposal off as impractical.
Right, just a smart executive decision. But, before you write a strategy off, you usually test it, right? You test to see if it will hold up.
Which means it maintains its integrity. But why not just say a theory makes sense? I hear that all the time.
Because a theory can make sense on paper when you're just sitting alone in a room. But to hold up means it stays convincing when it is actively challenged or, heavily scrutinized by other people.
Oh, I see. So it survives the pressure. Like conversing with colleagues, I might say. The initial marketing argument sounded strong, but it didn't hold up once new budget facts appeared.
Exactly. It couldn't withstand the real-world pressure.
Okay, so our doomed project turned to dust, the backups didn't hold up, and we wrote off the strategy.
A total disaster.
Total disaster. The immediate result is usually chaos. So how do we describe that initial shock to our colleagues?
Well, you'd say the event came out of nowhere, meaning it happened suddenly with no warning or obvious cause.
But, why wouldn't I just say it happened unexpectedly?
Unexpectedly just means your brain didn't predict it. It's a bit clinical. Out of nowhere paints this vivid spatial picture. It's like something invisible suddenly materialized right in the room with you.
Oh, that is jarring. So for an IELTS Part 2 prompt about a surprise, you could say, a job offer arrived out of nowhere while I was casually browsing listings.
Yes, perfect.
But how do I describe the emotional or physical toll of that surprise?
You'd say it leaves someone reeling.
Reeling? That sounds like way heavier than just being surprised.
Oh, much heavier. A surprise is a gasp, right? Leaving someone reeling implies this lingering state of profound shock and confusion. You are deeply unsettled. It's like a boxer taking a literal blow to the head and being dizzy.
Yeah, you can feel the vertigo. So the sudden restructuring announcement left everyone in the office reeling. And when people are reeling, they usually panic.
They do. And the physical reaction to that panic is to scramble for something.
As opposed to just searching for it.
Right, because you can search for a file on your computer for a week very calmly.
Huh?
Scrambling for something implies desperate, uncoordinated, rushed physical action.
Like survival mode.
Exactly. Yeah. Commuters scrambled for taxis when public transport stopped.
You can just picture the elbows flying. But wait, what if the rushing isn't panic? What if it's like a predator catching prey, like an opportunistic rush?
For that, you'd use the phrase snap up.
So not just buying quickly?
Right. Buying quickly is just a fast transaction. Snapping up means taking advantage of a short supply before anyone else can get it. The predator's jaws are snapping shut.
Oh, that's such a good visual. Shoppers snapped up the discounted items within hours of the sale starting.
Exactly. Now, eventually, the shock passes. And then you have to explain the situation to others. Public perception becomes everything.
The really scary part.
Yeah, so you have to step on stage, meaning you enter a prominent or public performance moment.
Okay, but why not just say, start presenting?
Because starting to present is just talking.
Yeah.
Stepping on stage emphasizes the psychological shift. You are entering the spotlight and taking on the heavy pressure of the audience's attention.
It's that deep breath before you open the door. She stepped on stage and immediately captured the board's attention.
Right.
And when you step on stage, perception is everything. You have to be super aware of how you come off as.
Yes. And coming off as is different from just seeming a certain way.
How so? He seems confident. Doesn't that work?
Seem is very general. Come off as specifically focuses on the impression that is received by the audience. And it often contradicts how you actually feel inside.
The whole fake it till you make it thing.
Exactly. He comes off as confident during meetings, even when he's nervous inside.
And part of that presentation is making sure people understand your actions in context.
Right, which means understood correctly when seen within its proper background.
But doesn't overall mean the same thing?
Not really. Overall looks at the grand total of a situation. In context means a specific tiny detail only makes sense because of the circumstances wrapping around it.
Okay, so the manager's comment seems harsh alone, but it makes sense in context of the whole discussion.
Perfect.
But, contexts get twisted. How do you make sure your context isn't manipulated later?
You have to go on record.
Meaning you state it publicly?
More than that. Anyone can state something out loud. Going on record carries the weight of official, permanent documentation. Your position is firmly known.
She went on record to explain the company's decision to the press. Got it. But going on record usually causes conflict, right? So how do we fix that?
By attempting to bridge the divide.
Okay, why use that instead of reach a compromise?
Because compromising often means both sides lose something to meet in the middle. Bridging the divide focuses on creating a genuine connection and shared goals between sharply opposing groups.
Like a couples therapist for two departments. She organized meetings to bridge the divide between the marketing and engineering teams.
Exactly.
So we've managed the narrative, we've bridged the divides, now we have to move forward.
And for that, you have to gear up, meaning prepare yourself or make ready for something upcoming.
But you can prepare by just reading an email.
Right. Gearing up implies equipping yourself, like putting on physical armor or getting into an intense mental mindset for a major challenge. The team is gearing up for the busy season with extra training.
Which leads us right to our final idiom of resilience.
Yes, to make it out of.
Which is way more than just surviving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Survive just means you didn't die or fail entirely. Make it out of. Paints a picture of successfully navigating and actively escaping a difficult, confining situation.
So for IELTS, don't just say you survived. Say, I made it out of a tight deadline by asking for help and working late. It shows so much agency.
It really does.
All right, well, it is time to test how well you, the listener, have absorbed these advanced phrases. So I'll ask a question and read out options A, B, and C. I'll repeat the target phrase a bit to lock it in. And feel free to pause the audio here if you need to think about the answer before we reveal it.
Let's do it.
Okay, question 1. In an academic debate, what does it mean if a theory does not hold up? Again, does not hold up.
Maintaining its integrity despite a thorough forensic investigation.
Deliberately delaying a decision until more data becomes available.
Organizing a temporary barrier to prevent any unauthorized entry. Feel free to pause the audio here if you need to think about the answer.
Okay, so the base phrase hold up means option A. Remember that earlier example about the budget pitch? It couldn't withstand the scrutiny of new facts.
Right. Okay, question 2. Which scenario best represents a CEO writing off a specific project? Writing off.
Formally documenting a financial loss for the current fiscal year.
Dismissing a potential strategy as being entirely impracticable.
Completing a final draft before the established project deadline. Go ahead and pause if you need a second.
The answer is option B. Think back to that CEO crossing a bad proposal off the whiteboard. It's that administrative cognitive decision.
Yeah, perfectly cold and calculated. Question 3. What is the primary motivation for an official to go on record today? Go on record.
Achieving a performance level that surpasses all previous metrics.
Monitoring a confidential conversation for later internal review.
Stating an official position to ensure it is publicly documented. Pause here if you need to think.
It's option C. This is making sure your stance in a meeting is permanently known so no one can twist your words later.
Awesome. Moving to question 4. Which of the following events would most likely leave a team reeling? Leave a team reeling.
Causing an individual to feel profoundly shocked and unsettled.
Forcing a colleague to fully reconsider their current career.
Providing a teammate with all tools required for a new task. Feel free to pause here.
That would be option A. Remember the lingering dizziness after a sudden restructuring announcement or that boxer taking a hit?
Yeah, that vertigo feeling. Question 5. Why might a critic describe a new television spinoff as doomed from the start? Doomed from the start.
Lacking the necessary resources to finish a complex operation.
Being destined for failure before any actual progress is made.
Facing an unexpected obstacle during the middle of a process. Pause the audio if you need a moment.
The answer is option B. Just like the software rollout that lacked leadership from day one, it's basically cursed from the beginning.
Exactly. Question 6. What is the main goal of a mediator attempting to bridge the divide? Bridge the divide.
Measuring the exact distance between two very distant points.
Creating a physical pathway over a dangerous natural chasm.
Establishing a connection between two sharply opposing groups. Take a second to pause if you need to.
Option C. It's all about connecting those sharply opposing marketing and engineering teams, finding that shared goal.
All right, question 7. What happens when a long-term business plan is said to turn to dust? Turn to dust.
Disintegrating or failing entirely after a period of success.
Becoming completely obsolete due to the rise of new technology.
Accumulating a layer of grime due to a lack of regular care. Pause here if you're still deciding.
It is option A. That's the careful timeline, vanishing entirely, just completely blowing away when the deadline moves.
And finally, question 8. Which behavior describes an investor who is waiting to snap up shares? Snap up.
Breaking a fragile object accidentally while moving it quickly.
Acquiring a valuable item immediately before it is exhausted.
Responding aggressively to a question during a tense meeting. Feel free to pause the audio one last time.
And the final answer is option B. That's our opportunistic shopper grabbing the discounts before anyone else can.
Incredible. Well, huge congratulations to you on making it out of this rigorous vocabulary deep dive.
Yeah, it is not easy.
It really isn't. But I want to remind you that you can practice using these phrases in real conversations by checking out SpeakDuo.com.
Yes, highly recommend that. Because advanced vocabulary is most valuable when you actually understand the exact why and context of its usage. Not just the dictionary definition.
Yeah.
Knowing the difference between falling apart and turning to dust literally gives you power over your own narrative.
I love that. So I want to leave you with a final thought to explore on your own today. Think about a time a carefully made plan of yours just completely turned to dust. And did experiencing that failure actually force you to gear up for an even better opportunity?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah. Like, how does knowing the specific language of failure actually make you more resilient? Keep unpacking that thought, and we'll see you next time.